Hello, everybody. My name is Shayan, and this is my main project of Netflix movie recommendation. So now let's look at the code which I have written in my Jupyter notebook. Beginning with it, the first line is about the import pandas as PD, which is a library for handling tabular data. Second is about movies. The data set which I have downloaded for the movies is from this website. From here, I downloaded this dataset. You can also follow it. It is from CAG. It shows tmdbmovies.csv, which I have downloaded for the dataset of which will be provided in the code for my movies recommendation. For example, if I click one movie and movies that should be recommended, it is from that dataset. Okay. Moving ahead is I have used the information function, which displays basic information like column names and non-null counts. Okay. Movies. Then I have added the movies head. It is a function. It is shows the first five heads of the movie. Similarly, I have used movies.columns. It will give me the basic idea of what is the idea of the movie, what is the title, what is the genre, original language, overview, and popularity, and everything. So moving ahead is I have used the movies is equal to movies in bracket ID, title, overview, and genre, which will give me all the information which I require. For example, the ID which I have, the title which I have, the overview, and genre. Then then the next step is about which is this step, which combines the overview and genre columns into a new column tags to represent the overall description of the movie. Then which gives me all this data over here. Next is about new data which I have created. So new data basically removes overview and genre since I only require ID, title, and tags. Okay, so as you can see, the output which I have got is this. Now next is about sklearn. So sklearn is also a library which you have to first install in in your desktop or your laptop. It imports count vectorizer, which converts text into numerical form. The next line is about the CV, which I have created. It creates a vectorizer which uses 10,000 most frequent words. It removes English words like the, is, etc. Okay. Next is about the vector is equal to cv dot fit transform new data tags dot values uh, dot as type u dot to array. So what is this doing? It fits the model on all tags and converts them into numerical arrays. Each row is equal to a movie. Each column is equal to a word. Next, yeah, and word dot shape shows the matrix dimension, which can be seen in the output of this over here. Next is about from sklearn dot matrix dot pairwise import cosine similarity. It imports cosine similarity to measure how similar two movies are based on their vectors. The next line, similarity equal to cosine underscore similarity vector. It will help to show, it creates a square matrix showing similarity scores between every pairs of movies between 0 and 1. Yes. Moving forward is which uh, is an example lookup. For example, here I have added int new data in bracket new data title equal to for example, the movie name which I have chosen is The Godfather, index 0. It finds the index number of the movie titled as Godfather, which is 2. Uh, as you can see over here, the Godfather index is 2, which I have got as my output. Okay. Then next is this line of code. Now, what does it tells us that it gets the similarity scores for the third movie, which is index 2, sorts them in descending order, and prints the top five most similar movies. Mm, This l- line of code tells us that it defines a function recommend. It finds a movies index, gets similarity scores, print top five similar movie titles. And for checking, I have used recommend Iron Man. So it gives me all the movies which Iron Man is a part of. For example, Iron Man 3, Guardians of Galaxies, Avengers, Age of Ultron. Everyone must have seen these movies. So as you know, Iron Man was there in those movies. Next is import pickle. It saves the news. It saves the new data, which you, as you can see, I've hid it over here. The new data was yes, over here. The new data. So import pickle. It creates new data and similarity matrix as .pkl files, so they can be used later in another script or web app like Streamlit. Okay, and now this line pickle dot load open movies list dot plk, it loads the saved data back into memory to verify it works. Okay, now we will move towards the VS Code, the code which I have written in my my VS Code. Let's move. Okay, now so as you can see, this is my code which I have written in my VS Code. Now you must think why there are two such different codes that I have written in VS Code and my Jupyter Notebook. So okay, so let us understand. So my code in my Jupyter Notebook is for building plus testing my logic. When I'm writing my code in Jupyter Notebook, my main goal was to load the data set, which was movies list dot pkl, as you can see here, and my similarity dot pkl, as you can see over here. So it was to build and test my recommendation logic using cosine similarity. Experiment with I was experimenting with small pieces of code interactively, checking data, verifying results. Okay. And the code which I have written in my VS Code using Streamlit app is for basically user interface. So it is the front end of it. So like how it is working, how the UI is basically. So the code which I have written in my VS Code will help me to show you guys how my UI is. Now, the basic logic which I have mentioned is through my Jupyter notebook code, which I just showed you guys. So the libraries which I have used, the functions which I had used, all were a major part of it. So so now the code in VS Code is something interactive where users can select a movie and see recommendations. And what else? Now, so now basically you might have understood why. So Jupyter Notebook was for model creation and testing, while VS Code is for UI to display recommendations. Now I will explain you roughly what the code which I have written in my VS Code is. So now the first three most important lines as import Streamlit as SD, import pickle, and import requests. So Streamlit is for making the web app over here. Pickle is to load my saved data or model, and requests is to get movie posters from an API. Okay, so now let's uh, step ahead into fetch posters. So this function goes online to the movie database API and gets the poster image link of a movie using its movie ID. If so, yeah, so you can actually see the movie poster through the link which I have pasted over here. You would get this link through the same website which through which I had downloaded the data sets. You can also check it in. It provides a link through which it gives me access of those movie posters. Now, the third point I would like to talk about, sorry, the first point was for imports. Second point was for the fetch posters, as you can see from here. Okay, and the next point I would like to talk about is loading my data. So to load my data from saved data files, I have here movies list.pkl, which contains all movie details, and the similarity.pkl contains how similar each movie is to others. So that's how the basic recommendation idea you would get. The next is about movie list is used for the drop down list. Over here, the movie list is for drop down for selecting multiple movies. You would get the options. Fourth points I would like to talk about is my UI setup. So the title is about the movie recommendation system. I have also added the drop down, which lets users select a movie from the list. The fifth point I would like to talk about is about the recommend movie over here, as you can see. So the functions it provides, it finds the selected movie index over here, as you can see, the selected movie index. It looks for other movies most similar to it. It picks the top five similar ones and gets their names and posters, recommended movies, which I would get the names of the movie and the recommended posters, through which I would get the image of the poster. It returns both name and poster. The next point I would like to talk about is my output display. So when I click show recommendation, it calls the recommend selected movie. So as you can see, show as I click the show recommendations button, it calls the recommend function, which the parameter I have passed is selected movie. And shows five recommended movies in a row, each with its title and poster images. So basically, in short, you select a movie, it finds five most similar and fetches its posters and shows them quite accurately. Yes. Now let me show you guys the actual output of it. So terminal, new terminal, okay. String, let run uh, app.py. So okay, so now let's run the code. Terminal, new terminal, uh, string, run app.py, enter. So here is the recommendation. It will show now recommendations. It is running. As you can see, it has given me all the recommendations of the movie. Now, if I go for suppose Avatar, yeah, Avatar show recommendations, it will give me the recommended movies for Avatar. Yes, that's it, guys. Thank